Hello and welcome to the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike and Laurent. It is Friday, April 29th. In this episode, Liverpool continue their easy path to the Champions League final. United get a draw and West Ham get invaded by Germans. But first, Mike, all right, you know how I do this. How am I supposed to feel about this Real game? Let me tell you, I don't feel good.
No, you shouldn't feel great, but what I'll tell you, let's look at the bright side. I happen to now for those who forget.
Squeaky Bum.
Hey, there you go. He's wearing the shirt, folks. For those that didn't realize, this was a frenetic game. A lot of goals going back and forth. The late goal by Benzema, made it 4-3, and that's how it ended for Man City, which means they go to the Bernabeu in the second leg, up a goal. Now, let's just look at the bright side.
You're up a goal.
This was the best 4-3 game at the Etihad for Man City fans in the Champions League. Because the last time that happened, they lost. So it could have been worse, Laurent. You could have lost to Tottenham Hotspur again in the Champions League. You could have.
Oh, you mean the one where we got a VAR call for the winner?
I mean the one where you gave up a goal to Fernando Llorente to lose, so you deserve to lose.
That one.
And
the one where they changed the rules,
and
then we lost you because of the same rule.
How
the first game of the season when he took 30 shots against Spurs in opening weekend, and I yelled at the YMCA, and someone was like, "This person has something wrong with them."
Yeah,
because I was watching
it. They ask you how many, but the good news is how many is Man City 4 and Real Madrid 3. Now, this game had everything. Right? It had penalties, it had intrigue, it had goals. So let's talk about it from the jump. I missed the kickoff. And by the time I saw, it was already 1-0 City. So take me through how
I'll take you through the first
all of the ups, all the downs,
first
all the ebbs, all the flows.
The first 25 minutes are City at their best, City annihilating Real Madrid. They not only do they score a goal in the first 90 seconds on a header by Kevin De Bruyne,
which so beautiful,
which was so good. But you know, it's a makeshift backline. John Stone's gutting it out. Zinchenko's in, so there's no fullbacks. The defensive pairing is Diaz and Laporte, which is fine. But City in the first 30 minutes both score 2 goals and hit the post twice.
Yeah.
2 breakaways, one by Mahrez, who should have passed it on to Foden to score. He hits the post. Then another breakaway where Foden should have passed it to Mahrez, and he shoots wide after taking a bad touch. In between that, Kevin De Bruyne is destroying people, and the pass to Jesus for the second goal is a touch and turn of like Aguero quality. So City are flying. I'm feeling great. It's incredible. Everything is going City's way. I was tweeting to you and Chari, put them to the sword.
Because
I need 5. I need 6. Because you must kill the champion. This is a special Real Madrid team. And we saw it. We saw it.
I think of it as the old Scream movies from like the 90s.
God.
Where like, shoot him again.
Voorhees. It's Real Voorhees.
Yeah, shoot him again until you have his severed head from his body. He still has life breathing through him.
Even then, the body will just put another body will come out of the neck. It'll be like some kind of fucking swamp fucking thing. Right. So we know that Benzema's there. We know that Modric is there. We know all these things. City not only, I think they show good resilience, to be frank. The game, first of all, Benzema brings them level on like 35 on a really good, like, only he can score that goal. It's a cross, volleyed, side-footed, like, nobody can do that. I can accept that goal. That's like, okay, fine. That happened. That's good. But then as you're going through it, I just had it up and I'm going to look at it again. City had more chances to go up and did, again, go up again. So City go up 2 goals 3 times. They go up 2-0, they go up 3-1, and they go up 4-2. And I'm like, the Foden goal was really good. Another header. So City get 2 goals on headers from De Bruyne and Foden. Fernandinho comes on. The cross to Foden is incredible because John Stones goes off with whatever was ailing him. And I'm like, oh man, look, it's Fernandinho. He's a warrior. He's coming in. He's playing left back. He jumps in front of Vinicius, who brings and makes the cross into Foden. And I'm like, oh my God, we're up 3-1 again. That's fine. The Benzema goal is fine. Then 3 minutes later, is it 5 minutes? 2 minutes later, after the Foden goal, same play. This time on the same side, Fernandinho giveth and taketh away. He tries to jump Vinicius again. Vinicius tricks him, doesn't take a touch. Fernandinho nutmegs himself on the pass, which was just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Now that's just
let's dig
Fernandinho.
into that for a second, because
But then wait, this is the best part. Vinicius turns and takes off. So he's at the halfway line running full speed. And this is a moment that Laporte is getting killed for this, but he's marking Benzema. And he just lets Vinicius Jr. run towards goal because he's afraid to leave Benzema. And by the time he realizes that Zinchenko has picked him up, Vinicius Jr. is at the goal and scoring.
So you mentioned Fernandinho. There's an important part of this game where John Stones is taken off in the 36th minute due to injury.
Yeah.
And so what you're talking about is a back line that's already – now wait, nobody's going to shed a tear for Manchester City. Nobody's going to feel bad.
No.
You have 4 to 5 players who could be at the Champions League semifinal quality level who could play that position. But
our backup right back is a rapist and is in prison.
But there's that as well.
We've forgotten about that guy. He got unpersoned.
Right. And so Fernandinho comes in, father time.
He's great. I love him. God love him.
And yeah, but there's a pace to this game that really puts him in a bad way, right? And so you see it where
listen, Vinny Jr. just makes no one's gonna have a good time with him. John Stones was having a hard time, but at least he never could run, and he always had Bernardo sort of shuttling Vinicius Jr. back whenever he got into the final third. But I think I don't know how injured Stones was. I think that Pep was like, this is not going to work. Or it was working, or whatever the case was.
Sure.
Alaba also went off in the second half because he was bad as well, because he was getting torched. Anyway, so Vinny Jr. scores this goal that can you blame Laporte for it? Sure, maybe. I guess so. There's a couple other breaks. Then there's a really nice play for City's next time when they go up 2 goals. This is from Zinchenko, who played really well, by the way. We all love Zinchenko. Zinchenko gets taken down and is literally lying prone on the ground like he's dead. Real take their foot off the gas for a half a second. The ref does not call the foul.
That's a great advantage.
Bernardo Silva rifles a shot from point blank range into the top corner. I mean, it's like, it's like, holy shit, that was...
Courtois flinched.
Yeah, it was
weird.
Hard. It was really hard.
And to go back to the Zinchenko foul, right? Peter Drury was on play-by-play, who, by the way, for my money, is the best play-by-play guy in the world. He's so good. And not just in big moments, but across the match. He brings so much vibrancy to the role. It's
the language too. It's very flowery, but still passionate. It's not.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like he's a
but so he and I'm blanking. I'm annoyed with myself. I'm blanking on whose color, but they immediately basically give an assist.
Andy Hinchcliffe?
It might have been. But they give an assist to the referee, right?
He did have a good game, to be fair.
He did, but on this goal. And I was listening to the post game where Micah Richards was, and somebody, Neville, I think, not Neville, whoever else was on the panel. Oh, it was actually Henri who goes, Micah Richards is ecstatic with the referee, but if Bernardo Silva skies that, he's screaming at him. And I had a thought, right? Because
he might have pulled it back.
That's what I'm wondering, right? Advantage is meant to be extremely subjective, and when he lines up for that shot, it's not quite a Vinny no moment, but you're like, that's not, whoa, right? That's not.
But he's in the 6-yard box. But
no, not that close. But nonetheless, if that ball goes into Rosie, or
I think you can call it back and let him have a free kick.
I
No
would
problem.
think so.
Yeah.
But wouldn't Real Madrid feel
They would
like
feel
they
aggrieved at that point, yes.
so I don't know what the right answer there is because it's just so subjective, right? Like you can't give Man City 2 kicks at the can because there was a foul,
I don't know.
or can you? Is it like
I
an
don't know.
N1 in
I don't
basketball,
know.
right? Like
I don't know. At that point, I'm ecstatic. I've now pulled a muscle in my arm from doing the fist pump thing. That's happened more than once where the next day after a big game, I'm like, my arms are broken.
well,
So
and you should see him after he masturbates, folks.
yes, all the time. So there are moments in the game that slow down where City recognize the moment, try and stop the frenetic nature of the game, and they do start bopping it around to slow things down, only to start attacking again. Real, in their moments, in their wisdom, in their incredibleness, Modric gets on the ball at the edge of the 18-yard box. There's a little sort of harmless cross that comes in. Laporte wins it, but has his arm out, and boom, cheap penalty. I don't know what you're supposed to do with it. Benzema, Panenka's,
Oh,
Ederson.
oh, that was so beautiful. The best part about that was I think it just kissed the ball,
Yeah,
the crossbar
and
on the
he
way
had,
down.
and the big thing was that he had missed his last 2 penalties. In fact, missed 2 in a game in
Yeah.
La Liga, and so this 4-3 game that, and I mean, it's not. I mean, yes, expected goals is 2.5 to 1.5, blah blah blah. Because if a penalty is 0.7, so it's really like 0.6 to 2.6, right? Like City controlled this game, but when you have a finisher who can take 0.2 chances, 0.2 xG goals, and make them into goals, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Makes up for a
City did
lot.
not have any of their fullbacks. The Fernandinho thing was a problem. Then the second leg, I feel better. There will be Kyle Walker. There will be
Cancelo.
Cancelo.
Yeah.
The Vinny thing won't be there, but then they'll be in the Bernabeu. And while City did win to go into the beat Real in the semifinal, and they are a better footballing team. They simply are. But what I think Real will do is they're just going to sit deep, soak this thing up, and just wait for a moment to happen. And then when that moment happens, they're going to try and win
They're
this
gone.
game with
Yeah.
15 minutes. They're going to play for 15 minutes.
So let's kind of digest that a little bit and dissect it a little because
It's
what we're
brutal.
talking about
It's
here,
fucking brutal.
but what we're talking about is Manchester City at the end, brass tacks are up 1 going to the Bernabeu. At the end of the day, if I told you that, actually, I think we did
Oh,
talk about it.
if they had won, it would have been fine, no problem. But it's the context of the game. It's
No,
what
I
could have
understand.
been.
No, I understand. And I think you said, actually, to your credit, if it's a 1-goal game, you're not going to feel great about it. But if it's more than that, I mean, great.
2 would have been
But
fine. 1 is not.
2 would have been fine. Folks, this is the life a Manchester City fan leads. 2 would have been fine going into the second leg of a Champions League semifinal.
Do you trust City?
So here's the thing. I am confused now because if it were, it's almost like I'd feel more confident if it were tied because City would play their game their
They're
way.
going to
And
play
they
the
would,
way they play no matter what.
yeah, but I wonder if they've got something looking over their shoulder a little bit. And to that point that they're going to play their way no matter what. Remember the Champions League final? So my question is,
Yeah, but we barely. I mean, the
does
Champions League
Galaxy
final
Brain Pep get on the
was
plane to Spain?
was just stupid because he played a lineup he hadn't played all year.
This is what I'm saying. Does Galaxy Brain Pep ride the plane to Spain? Right?
No, I don't. I don't think so. And here's
don't think
why.
so?
I think this has been my theory for a while. I think Triggy Bergeristan and Ferran Torres figured this out. The GM and president of Manchester City. They were like, "Here's how we solve the Pep problem. We have no depth. There are 14 guys that play, and that's it. Do you want me to read you who was on the bench during this game for City?
Yeah.
Here's the back end of the City bench. These are 5 players. So there's, I'll read you the bench. Stefan and Scott Carson. Scott Carson is a 37-year-old backup keeper. We had 2 backup keepers. Ake, Sterling, Gundogan, Grealish, Fernandinho. Fernandinho had to play. Sterling came on. We basically have a bench of 4. Here's the rest of them. Number 56, CJ Egan Riley. Number 79, Luke Mbete Tatu. Number 80, Cole Palmer. That would have been a big moment for him to play. Number 87, James McAtee. And number 90, Romeo Lavea. There's no fucking around. Like,
So you've
anyone
taken
that
his
he
toys
puts
away
in,
from him. Then.
right. There's no option to fuck it up.
Yeah.
So the team has been very narrowed down. It's literally it's the same 17 guys.
Well, okay. And I do think that injuries played a part in this, of course.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because and suspensions in Cancelo's case, but
Cancelo again, the ghost of Atleti is still in this game.
No, I know.
Fuck.
But I just wonder. No, you would have had 4 players essentially on.
I know if it's Walker and Cancelo, then 2 of those kids drop out, right? Then the guys that are on the bench are then the guys that are starting are on the bench, right?
Exactly.
So it's a little bit different. And Fernandinho is really at this point, he's if Cancelo and Walker are there, when City go up 4-2 the second time, Fernandinho comes on with Rodri. Right?
Yes.
He's the checking line stopper. There have been some questions about whether Gundogan should have come on to be this player, but I think with what's happening with City is in this 2 front thing and the injuries and blah blah blah. Listen, no one's going to cry as a river. It's not an excuse. It's just this is where we are. It's just like someone's going to have to play this fucking Leeds game who hasn't been playing every 3 days. So what'll happen is Grealish will come on, Sterling will come on. They'll do Foden is now in the he's playing mode. He's like, the kid's 21 years old. We're playing Foden. Roger will play no matter what. And then, Diaz Stones, and then they'll figure out what to do. The suspensions, Cancelo will play. If Walker's okay, he'll play. So City are okay where they are in the league. I'm not afraid of Leeds, but I do think that to transition to Liverpool, and I don't even want to talk about their game. They didn't watch it. They had Villareal. They got held at the half. They scored 2 goals. They're at Anfield. Like, what the fuck is it supposed to do? Like, they're playing fucking Europa League games in the fucking semifinal of the Champions League. It's very upsetting. I shared some links with you, and I've been talking about this a lot. This narrative of City for the Liverpool for the quadruple. Are they already the greatest team of all time? I get it. I know why it happens from a media perspective. This is just what you need. You create a story. But that City are the foil to this happy-go-lucky, charmed life Liverpool is just, it makes me want to throw up.
It's insufferable.
Now, Klopp has signed a contract extension for 2 more years. So I think Pep is just going to be like, I'm not going until you go.
Right.
So what I think will happen is now, I think now Pep will resign. I think
if you take narrative and
marry
story,
themselves to each other and just be like, you're here, I'm here. Fuck this.
It's the Cold War. It's the Yankees and the Red Sox from the 90s, right? Like it's unquestionably among any of the major professional sports in the US or in Europe, it is the most as if you take all subjectivity out of it, all narrative, all bullshit, all media nonsense, Manchester City and Liverpool are the 2 most enjoyable, fun teams to watch of any sport in the world currently, and they have been for about 5 years.
I think that the mantle was passed from Barca Real. I think that the last couple TV deals really elevated the Premier League. La Liga went to a more revenue share model, and they put in that salary cap because they were worried about their other teams, and that shift changed. Like, I think you have the Leicester win, which is basically that's like peak La Liga, like 2015. Ronaldo's still there.
Yeah.
2014, Messi. That's peak there. You don't realize it, but then the Leicester win is just like Liverpool and City are just like, this is never fucking happening again. Leicester's never beating me. Okay, enough. Wenger goes, and then your bump is on the up. Spurs are lifting. The whole thing is lifting. The Premier League gets a new TV contract. The whole thing lifts off. It's second year in the US. The whole thing takes off. And La Liga declines. I think probably the death knell for La Liga is, to be fair, is Ronaldo leaving was probably the real moment. And Ronaldo leaving and Neymar leaving really sort of put a damper on it. And then it's really taken off with the Liverpool City thing. It's just the Pep, Guardiola, Conte, all that conglomeration of power into the league. We've talked about it a million times. I mean, we could still have City and Liverpool down to the wire in the Champions League final. I don't even want to deal with that game. That game's on a neutral site. On a neutral site, I feel much better about it. Like not having to play at Anfield. It's just like,
right.
Anfield. But we did lose the FA Cup semifinal after the war
At
on
Anfield.
terror. After the war on terror against fucking Atleti, that was like the 9/11 of football. It felt terrible. I think, having bodies rolling around, not out of buildings or firemen, but you know what I mean.
So you're not worried about Leeds on Saturday?
No. In fact, I'm more encouraged by late Wednesday, early Saturday, Newcastle away for Liverpool. That game is a slippy. If Liverpool are favorites for almost every game where they're probably going to win 80% of the games, that's a game that's a 60% win chance, right? And a draw feels like,
I was going to say I could see a draw.
Yeah,
I could see a 1-1.
I am going to make a shrine right now. Here he is. I'm gonna write Alan Saint Maximin's name on my baseball Jesus that has lived with me for years, and I'm gonna pray to the Saint Maximin gods that he spins fucking Matip and fucking shitbird Alexander Arnold and spins them around.
So,
and
folks,
gets cheap goals, and all of a sudden, Newcastle United are flying.
I'd like to congratulate Liverpool on the quadruple, because just now on the April 29th episode of the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast, you and I just heard Laurent Courtines praying and worshiping a false idol. And that's the moment right there. Mark these words.
His name is Saint Maximin.
Well, the saint thing might save you. I didn't think about that. But a false idol's a false idol's a false idol. So
please,
you're fucked.
Please,
buddy. You're fucked.
From all the
Madrid's
old gods of the new, I need Alan Saint Maximin to spin Trent Alexander-Arnold into the fucking ground.
Madrid's gonna win 2-0 next week, and they're gonna Liverpool's gonna kick the shit out of them. And
what about your mob? You are on
happen.
The fucking plate. You're up next after Newcastle to try and take on the mighty Reds.
I know. Let me just. Is that
at home or
fucking
away?
Leicester right now? No, we're at Anfield, where we do have some really, really incredible games.
You're an emotional team. You might play well in that game.
No, I know. Or I'm going to worry about us in Anfield next week, because if you look at, we've got Leicester City, which towards the end of the season, it's almost like it rains goals in this game.
Yeah.
There's been
Leicester are kind of cooked, I think, at this point.
No, I agree. This is a game that this is not yesterday's Leicester, I suppose, but this is a game that you should absolutely go and get 3 points if you have more than one strategy in your back pocket, Antonio. Because the book is out.
But they're weak. That's a team they're not going to. The fact of the matter is, Brentford and Brighton are better defensive teams than Leicester by a lot.
Oh, yeah.
By a lot. Like Leicester and Brighton are winning. Like if you, I'm not even being funny. If Graham Potter was the fucking coach of Leicester or Brighton, sorry, if Graham Potter was the coach of Leicester, they'd be better.
They'd be where United are, I would bet. They're 12 points off of that, 13 points off of that. So, Well, I mean, look, at some level, Spurs have to take care of their own house, but they need help now. Probably more help than just beating Arsenal in the North London Derby in a couple of weeks. As we talked about on Monday, Tuesday, whatever, they're 2 points up. They have goal difference. No, Spurs still have goal difference, but
it's getting
another
smaller.
Big game coming into this weekend is Arsenal with a London derby against West Ham. And after what West Ham, we'll talk about in a second, have gone through today, I don't see an easy road for them on Sunday.
No. I mean, West Ham are weakened.
Yeah.
They don't have any defense right now. Zuma's
So
hurt.
they're
Dawson's out with a red card.
yeah.
They don't have any. Diop's been out. They don't really have much left in the tank. They just played. They got invaded by Eintracht Frankfurt. They
So
marched through East London as usual. There was violence, which is
yeah.
good. My son from the championship, I will still continue to claim him. Jared Bowen hit the post twice.
Oh, and the
Did you,
last one.
incredible.
Oh
So
my
good.
goodness.
He struck a bicycle kick in the 85th minute, probably better
No, in
than
like the 92nd minute.
it's up there with Bale's.
Yeah.
But Bale's is more
90,
sideways.
90 plus 2. Oh,
Bale's is more of a volley overhead, and this one was direct. This was like,
yeah.
and he slams it off the bar. It's got that great, like the bar has water on it, and it reverberates, and you get that
Yeah.
little shower. Oh God!
And
But West Ham gave up a goal in the first 30 seconds.
yeah, I mean, it was a back and forth affair because you had, they punched back. I think it was Antonio got the goal, right?
Yes, to tie.
So 20 minutes later, it's 1-1 again, and it's just they gave their best shot. But the thing is that, like I said, going into Sunday, they're tired, they're weakened, but their ego took a shot too, right? That's an emotional loss in the sense that you lost at home, you lost
They
2-1.
They had a draw locked
And
up,
they had the draw in the clutches of their fucking hands, and they didn't get it. So this is one where you really have to. I mean,
it's only one goal. There's no reason to think that the way West Ham play.
oh no,
That they can't go to Frankfurt and get a 1-0.
Absolutely, and I'm not saying that at all, right?
Yeah.
I absolutely think that. However, and in the short term, when you went in before this game, if you're a West Ham supporter, you have to be thinking we're 8 points off of Arsenal. They have a game in hand on us. There's 3 teams between us and them.
They're not thinking.
There's no
about
chance that we're going to get a 4th spot. I mean, it's very possible. It's not likely you get one of the Europa League spots, sure, but you're not going to try to win a European place on your league position, especially given where you are and all of the
they want to
nights
finish
you've had
top
so far.
half. They don't want to slide. They don't want Wolves.
It's almost mathematically impossible for them not to be in the top half. But so they're pretty much the worst they're going to do is fall behind Wolves for 7th, 8th, whatever. So fine, but they had all the eggs in the Europa League basket, and they had to watch Frankfurt step on the basket today. So it's emotionally going to be hard to get up on Sunday.
It's still good stuff. It's still exciting. It's still moving along in decent shape. I mean, I think that there's like I've said before, there are some clubs that you have kinship with. City have weird kinship with Everton and West Ham. Those are 2 teams that we have sort of a mutual respect for, that we sort of have lived the same lives together. And we do have to go down into the depths after we talked about Newcastle. We talked about Liverpool. We do have to then go back into our relegation zone and talk about where Burnley is, where Everton is. As it stands right now, Burnley have a 2-point lead. They face Watford. They have a game in hand. Everton are still in the mire, and Everton play Chelsea. Now, Chelsea has not been good on a Sunday. Nope. You'd expect at Goodison Chelsea to put them away, but this is closer than it would have been a month ago.
So let's be clear. Chelsea has been not good in the sense that they have dropped points recently against Arsenal, a loss, and United, a draw yesterday. However,
they're way better than those games.
They're way better. Nah, they're better than Arsenal.
They got smoked by Brentford.
Sure. Yeah. They beat the shit out of Manchester United. And the XG, the one I saw at least, and I know there's a couple of different models, but it was basically a 4-1 ratio in Chelsea's favor. It was just under 2 to just under a half. Just over a half, I should say. And I mean, right at the end, I think it was Reece James hits the outside of the post.
Reece James is a man out to destroy things with his howitzer foot.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a nice layoff, I think, from Mount. He comes.
That
in,
was very nice. I saw that. Yeah.
everything but the back of the net for Chelsea today.
Oh no, I mean Chelsea
And
are superior and Everton are terrible.
so
But
right,
you don't
yes.
know. You don't know. There's an unknown.
Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty comfortable of the 3 games. Listen, all 3 games have important implications on Sunday. You've
Yeah.
got Everton, Chelsea, you've got West Ham and Arsenal, and you've got Man United, Brentford, where it's like,
On Monday.
is it just
Yeah.
is I'm sorry, that's a Monday
Yeah.
game. So you've got Spurs, Leicester, and then Everton, Chelsea simultaneously, and then West Ham, Arsenal. So
If
Sunday's a big day.
If Brentford aren't favored in that game, there's something wrong in the world.
They won't be because of name brands, and it's at Old Trafford.
Oh, okay. Maybe not then.
So, yeah.
I was gonna say if it seems like these Monday night games they put the teams with really good crowds. So if it had been at Brentford, I'd be like, ugh.
Oh, sure, yeah. But so as we move towards what's really becoming the business end of the season,
or what is it?
The Squeaky Bum Time.
Hey, look out!
What you might find is that some games mean fuck all, and that's effectively just going to happen at this stage of the season.
Wolves.
Nobody
Brighton.
should give a shit about Southampton and Crystal Palace,
no,
or Aston Villa and Norwich, or Wolves and Brighton.
No.
So the games that do have, but you're still talking about half the league in some way, shape, or form.
Some
pretty exciting stuff. So Newcastle, Liverpool kicks it off in the early slot. Again, that's a good shout by Laurent. I didn't realize that they had
the late Wednesday. And then the early.
Yeah, that's interesting. So we'll see if they can bounce back. I did not see a lot of what Liverpool played as far as lineup against Villareal, so I'd have to look into that.
They played the big dogs. They played who they normally.
That makes sense. Yeah. And then straight away, right after that, the only game in the 10 a.m. Eastern, I should say, slot is the 3 p.m. the famous 3 p.m. over is the Watford Burnley game, right? And so this is just what's become a must-win for Burnley because Everton also has Watford, and despite everything we could say about Everton at the moment, they're going to expect to beat Watford, and I think. What we said on the show last time is Watford needs 4 more points. I'm sorry, Burnley needs 4 more points to get to that level.
This is 3 of them.
This is 3 of them.
Yeah, so, 8 wins. I still think that first team to 8. Everton's already on 8. So for them,
that's the point. Is that for me, the magic number right now is 4.5. It's 4. It's 4 for Burnley, and
Leeds,
it might be
Leeds
5.
needs a point over the next. Needs maybe a win.
Yeah,
maybe.
So that's going to be something that's interesting. I think that the way that kind of it sort of shakes out is there's one interesting game at every time slot, which is good because it's hard. It can get hard to watch multiple games simultaneously. And in the late game, you've got your guys, City going to Leeds, which you're not concerned about.
No. I'm concerned.
Well, you said you weren't worried.
I'm always worried. City score a goal in the first 5 minutes. Leeds are in an unbeaten run in their last 4. Jesse Marsch all of a sudden has this team playing defense, something that was unheard of under Bielsa. But they're actually Leeds are unbeaten in their last 5.
Mm-hmm.
So they have put together a good run here. They beat Norwich as they supposed to. They beat Leeds. That was the big one. That was like that really put Leeds. They beat Wolves. Excuse me.
Yes,
that really put them in the driver's seat. They get the draw versus Southampton. They beat Watford as they're supposed to. They've basically done everything they're supposed to. And that 0-0 on Palace on Monday night was huge for them. But Palace throttled them. Yeah. Like if you watch the highlights of that game, there are no Leeds highlights. So I would expect City to do a number on Leeds. But I am afraid every game is fraught at this point for City. Every game is a final. It's 5 games. You have to win all of them. There is no dropping, right? Now, if Liverpool drop points, then it'll be a little bit of an easier breathe where you're just like, oh, maybe we don't have to. But if Liverpool win, it puts pressure on City to really.
Of course. And that's the interesting thing about having them not just like back to back, but having enough breathing room where everybody on City is going to not just know the result versus Liverpool, they're going to be watching.
They're going to have watched it. Yeah.
They're going to be watching. So they're going to be watching. And then when that game ends, they'll effectively start warming up for their match. So if Newcastle manage the draw, if your beloved Saint Maximin comes through,
I fucking love Alan St. Maximin so much.
And I might sprinkle a little bit on the draw. I think I like that a lot.
Newcastle are in 9th place. Ninth
No, I know.
place.
I know.
No, but I think we just need to really put this into context. They were in the bottom
They're
3
in the
on
relegation
Christmas
zone.
Day.
Yeah.
This shit doesn't happen.
Yeah. So
Like, is Eddie Howe manager of the year, even though he didn't fucking manage the whole season?
I mean, before 2 weeks ago, I would have that same argument about Conte, and he wasn't. So, I mean, we'll talk about that in a second. If my point that I was making was if Newcastle get a result, win or draw, and City players see that, that is going to be like fresh powder to their noses when they're warming up. They are going to come out so supercharged against Leeds that they might score 10 goals in the first 10 minutes. They're going to go fucking apeshit. And that's why I think that these are kind of fun, right? Like I said, you have enough time to digest the outcome of one game, and it's likely that Liverpool will win. But in the off chance, and maybe more than an off chance, that Newcastle do get that result, the inverse takes effect. So yeah. I'm excited to see that. And again, as everything we've always said about this entire show, we hate Liverpool, so we do want to see that.
Yeah, of course, and it makes my life easier. I just want to point out that every win that Newcastle has, even though Eddie Howe took over the team in early November, is his win because they had no wins before.
That's right. That's right.
They were winless in their first 13.
Let's talk about manager of the year because you brought it up. There are a handful of candidates.
If whoever wins the league's gonna win it. That's
bullshit.
That's what
I think happen. Let's talk about the real manager of the year then. Eddie Howe is certainly a contender. I think Conte has a shout, but won't really come close. And I do think that it's on the back of the last 2 weeks. If Spurs had 4 more points than they did right now, and they're 2 points ahead of Arsenal, he's the manager of the year, right? So the last 2 weeks have damaged him pretty aggressively. I think that Patrick Vieira at Palace has a pretty good shout.
But they're at 14th. Like, they have a positive goal differential.
Yeah, I know.
You turn around a team. I get all that stuff. I just think that history, the way this fucking league is, whoever wins the league is going to get it. Like, they're going to give it to Klopp if he wins the league. This is just going to happen.
Yeah, and that's other shouts. Not so much in the middle part of it. They had a big lull. But Thomas Frank and Brentford really came out the chute great. And
I mean, they're really good.
Of all the things we get wrong on this show, and they are many. We saw Brentford coming. Right from the jump.
Yeah,
they are your friends from the championship, and
these are my friends from the championship. Yeah,
but I heeded your advice, and I did my homework, and I jumped on them too, and I found that story really, really intriguing.
I have new friends though coming.
I know you do. And as the story sort of went, it's been interesting to watch ownership ride Frank through that period, as they sort of said they would, even if the results didn't follow, if the football was good, right?
And the football was good.
Yeah. So I'm very happy with their season, and I'm happy that they'll be our friends for next year as well. I don't think there's many others. I think we fell in love with a few guys for a little bit, but
I got fooled by Gerard press conference.
Yes.
But he's actually not good.
Yeah.
Or that team has just got weird. I don't know.
And Moyes won't get it, but he deserves another
shout for sure.
He deserves a shout. And you know what? And Mikel Arteta as well.
For sure,
I think Mikel Arteta has as much of a claim to it as anybody right now. You knew Liverpool was going to be there. You knew Man City was going to be there, but you did not think. I mean, you had them 6th. I had them like 10th.
He took on Aubameyang and Ozil and
won.
Yeah, and he got. I think a lot of front office guys got sacked too. So but I want to pip a game to watch in the championship for my friends on Tuesday.
Yes, your favorite time of the year,
May 3rd. Bournemouth, who have been in the top 2 all season, came out of the gates sharp. Fulham chased them down. They have been in the automatic promotion spot for most of the season. They are 3 points ahead of Nottingham Forest. Mm-hmm. And Forest goes to Bournemouth to take a shot for automatic promotion. This is 2-time European champions, Nottingham Forest, who have been in the fucking wilderness.
They're getting their groove back.
And they have a great coach. They started the season, I think, 1-7 or 1-8. And they have been in the championship, the level beneath the Premier League, since 2008. They have been in that division. And not even making the playoffs. They made the playoffs once or twice in 2010 and 2011. But they have been in the wilderness. They are on their way back. The guy to look for on that team is a kid called Brendan Johnson, who's 20 years old. I believe he's one of their own. He's 15-10. He's a new friend. Keep an eye on him. A Welsh international. Probably plays with your friend, Mr. Bale.
I'm sure he does.
Tuesday, keep an eye on it. If Bournemouth yak this, it's bad, because going into the playoffs is no guarantee. You can ask Brentford. This was not the best Brentford team. Brentford's team from 2 years ago was better when they had Ollie Watkins. But keep an eye on that Bournemouth Forest game. I'll be sure to give you an update. And then, of course, Championship Sunday is Saturday, May 7th. So they play on the 3rd. We'll see how they go. And then, of course, we have the whole fucking schedule plays all at once. So they have 3 games. They've got to play Swansea, who are good, at home, then Bournemouth, then they finish with Hull City. So a lot of fun stuff in the
golf
Championship.
The golf is 3 points right now?
3 points. They are dead even.
Wow.
Same goal difference, same points.
Oh, so no. So there is no golf then. There's 3 games left.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they have the same amount of wins. It's all very perfectly tight.
Interesting.
Good stuff. But I'll give you another sense of where Nottingham Forest have come from just from this season. They started their season. Let's see. Hold on. Just want to get this right. I know it's compelling stuff. They started the season off with 4 straight losses, then a draw, then 2 more. So they didn't get their first win until week 8 of the season. They fire Chris Hughton, and since then they have not lost. They are on a run. They have an actual coach. I forget his name. I'm gonna look it up because he was the U17 coach for the team that it's not Stephen Reed. For the team that Foden was on, they won the U17 World Cup. So he comes out of this new British
Phil Foden
academy.
won something? That's strange.
No, yeah, when he was under 17.
Yeah. Well, no, and every fucking year since, right?
Yeah, he's Phil Foden's a legend. His name is Steve Cooper. Excuse me. He was the Swansea manager. Really good. Ugly man. Ugly guy. Very ugly.
English.
Very ugly. So sorry for the digression into the championship.
No, you're good.
These are going to be our new friends. We know Fulham are coming. We've got the under-over on Mitrovic's goals.
Yes.
12 out of 40. And then we've got Nottingham Forest with a really good coach. So I think it's interesting. It sucks that someone always has to go up and down, but Forest coming up will be a big, big story, especially Liverpool Forest are like epic battles from 70s that they fucking knocked them out of the European Cup twice. Yeah. Anyway, interesting. Weird football history.
Yeah.
All right. Mike, are you done? You got anything for me?
Yeah, we got nothing left. There's really, we could talk more about Man United Chelsea today. It stunk. That's it. Let's get out of here, man.
Okay, that was the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike Salerno and Laurent Cortines. We are the football wing of the Chop Sports Network and friends of Fan Hub. We record on Tuesdays and Fridays, so be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcast so you never miss a show. And if you're listening on Apple, please rate and review the show. It helps a lot. We need you. Fucking numbskulls.